Please stay standing for the singing of our national anthem by graduating senior Alyssa Sonato, and remain standing for the alma mater. The lyrics for our Allen Park High School alma mater can be found on the back of your program. Thank you, Ms. Kruger and the Allen Park Symphonic Band, who are joined by our incoming freshman class band members. We welcome them aboard. We also want to thank the music department for helping us set the tone for this dignified occasion in honor and in celebration of the class of 2014. The music you provided to begin this ceremony in honor of our graduates was of exceptional quality again this year. Thank you, Ms. Kruger. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, parents, family members, friends, community members, faculty, Board of Education members, Central Office Administration, Dr. Sturrock, Mayor Matekas, and most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2014. It is with great pride that I say to the class of 2014 that you have been a class like no other. What a tribute to you that as you exited the building on your last day of school, that you walked out with dignity, with more than a few tears and a lot of hugs. I even saw teachers who were visibly saddened to see you go. When I saw my phone light up right after you left, and it was the principal at Benny Elementary School, my heart started to pound as I anticipated what she might be calling about. Usually, it is a complaint about the senior dismissal, about the noise, music, and speed, seniors out of control running through red lights and over children. Well, not that really, but imagine my surprise when she said, "Janet, have the seniors left? They didn't make a peep." And that's how you are, and that is how you have been. Kind, respectful, generous people. What a wonderful legacy that you leave behind, and how proud we are of you. When I think about the class of 2014, I remember a group of individuals who wanted to change the world. Yes, it was a smaller world, that of Allen Park High School, but your commitment brought a stronger sense of community, spirit, and pride in being a Jaguar. A Jaguar is not simply our mascot for athletics. Through your actions and leadership, the Jaguar spirit represents unparalleled thoughtfulness, unity, humility, and service to others. When I look out in this room, I see greatness already. I see students who organized the second annual Buddy Walk for our autism program, raising over $3,000 for the cause. I see students who participate annually in the Relay for Life for cancer survivors and those who have lost their battle. I see students who built 50 toy boxes this past Christmas and filled them with toys, clothes, and gift cards to give to 25 needy families in our community. I see students who planned and hosted the first annual SAD, Students Against Destructive Decisions Awareness Week, that organized activities to save a life. I see students who donated their talent and hard work to the second annual Allen Park High School Day of Service, when an army of JAGs went out into the community, raking leaves, picking up trash, painting, cleaning, and doing all other kinds of odd jobs. I see students who make a difference in the world on our green team, protecting the environment, who raise money with their ceramics for the Empty Bowl Project, supporting Gleaner's Food Bank, who organize and contribute their blood at the annual NHS Interact Blood Drive, who play an integral role in our Wounded Warriors Military Night and our annual Veterans Day and Adopt a Veteran program. And I see students in our very own JAG jungle who gathered at a basketball game, over 100 strong, with signs for Violet and Chelsea, two students from Airport High School in Carlton, one who died and one who was in critical condition because of a tragic car accident. Our great students posted a beautiful photograph of support to these teens, their families, and their community. I received a message from their principal, and I have to read you a brief snippet of what he said. Based on the proximity of our two schools, I was floored that you and your students recognized our students at a time when support is so needed in our school and community. You have an excellent student body. You should be extremely proud. And I am so very proud. Not only are you top scholars, but you are awesome human beings. The class of 2014 has left its mark on our school in a good way and for many, many reasons. Yes, you ruled the school, but you did so with humility and were role models and mentors. I look out now at you and I see your faces. They tell stories epitomizing the best of this class and hold many memories. Jessica Triumphi, stand up. Jessica wants to change the world and the way we interact with the mentally and physically challenged. She has been a tireless advocate for the autism program, working all hours of the day and night as a Lynx mentor. Jessica, thank you for your compassion, patience, and for making a difference in the lives of others. Jacob Tracer, stand up. Jacob, you have evolved over the years from a rather shy, unassuming young man to an independent person of great strength, compassion, humor, and perseverance. for your contributions to the Allen Park High School School Improvement Team, and for being the lone voice of the student body and helping to make important decisions about curriculum and programming. Thank you. Joey Chappis, stand up. Joey, you had a slow start at APHS with grades that didn't live up to your potential, but you turned this around and you made us all proud. For making good decisions, changing your life and your priorities, and for being our turnaround student, thank you. Ryan Oakley, stand up. Ryan is humble with a quiet determination, masked by a smile that warms your heart. He is an understated intellect and leader, but somebody who is mentally and physically tough and will change the world. For your character, humility, and good example, thank you. Abby Dawson, stand up. Abby, you are the kind of student teachers look forward to seeing on their class roster. They know you will give them everything you have to master the task at hand. Nothing defines an ideal student more than that. For your work ethic, upbeat attitude, and just for being an all-around cool kid, thank you. Eric Filipowitz, stand up. Eric, you are an amazing young man who has shown perseverance, tenacity, and great courage in the face of challenges. No excuses ever. Eric, for your resiliency, talent, and character throughout all your years at Allen Park High School, thank you. Bailey Baines, stand up. Your leadership and passion for the arts is inspirational. You single-handedly did what no high school art student has ever done before. You got the Detroit artist market to agree to exhibit a high school portfolio show, something never done before. For your work ethic, your amazing talent, and your beautiful heart, thank you. To our prom king, King Chris Pearson, stand up. You are a polite, respectful, and kind young man, and as Mrs. West describes you, a goofball with a heart of gold. For your contagious enthusiasm for living a good life, thank you. Sarah Harris, stand up. Usually you are up on this stage in the band at our graduation ceremony, but today we are thrilled to count you among our graduates. As drum major and jazz band member, you have been our school's musical ambassador. Sarah, for your kind heart and warmth, for serving as an exceptional leader as drum major, and for leading our parade, thank you. Michael Keepus, stand up. You did what no other student has done before and united the entire school in a spirited unity music video. Your contributions to our school community as Relay for Life captain, Link Crew leader, Cranial Chronicle editor, and director of the Unity Project prove that together we can accomplish great things, and all the while wearing your Hawaiian shirt. Michael, for your tremendous skill with technology, your contagious enthusiasm to do the right thing, and your leadership, thank you. Bonnie Watson, stand up. After your year in the Freshman Academy, Ms. Melville tells us that you stopped by her room every day of your high school career to check in and see how you could help. You seem to relish every moment of high school with camera always in hand, ready to capture each memory. For your thoughtfulness, concern for others, and for getting an A+ in the class of life, thank you. Jason O'Bricky Smith, stand up. There is nobody who has gotten more out of high school than Jason. He has done it all in athletics, clubs, and activities, as well as his technical work on JJ and Imprint. And boy, can he dance. Jason, for being an outstanding and well-rounded citizen at Allen Park High School and for doing the best roast of Mr. Powell that I have ever heard, thank you. These are just a few of the students who represent a sampling of wonderful young adults in the class of 2014. Each one of you tells a story, and each one of you leaves the halls of Allen Park High School with a foundation to do great things, a foundation that this school has helped to build, along with the loving support and guidance of your parents and friends and family. I'm so proud of you and the values that you have clearly embraced, and I know that as you depart from Allen Park High School to the next chapter of your lives, your reputation as strong leaders and a deep concern for others will remain. No more Collins, no more Targets, no more Socratic Seminar, no more one book, one school, no more ACT prep, just you, armed with the tools given to you by this fine staff and your family. Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Class of 2014, you have made your mark on this school because you truly live the spirit of this quote. You will indeed go out and change the world, knowing that you have our, and particularly my, respect, admiration, and heart. Congratulations to the class of 2014. I will miss you. It is now my pleasure and my privilege to introduce to you our distinguished guest on stage, beginning to my far left. As I call your name, I ask you to stand and remain standing until all have been announced. I would like the audience to hold their applause until everyone is standing. Mr. Ken Stevens, Assistant Principal and Athletic Director. Mrs. Jory Kiesel, Department Chair for World Languages and the Elective Areas and co-sponsor for the class of 2014. Representing the Math Department this evening, Mr. Larry Dunlap. Mr. Don Sant, Department Chair for Social Studies. Mrs. Julie Shepard, Board of Education, Vice President for Teaching and Learning. Mr. Rick Moynihan, Board of Education, Vice President, Extracurricular Issues. Mr. Guy Desjardins, Board of Education, Vice President, Human Resources. Mr. Walt Pitlack, Director of Special Education and Employee Services. Mr. Bill Holdsworth, Director of Curriculum and Technology. Mrs. Pamela Smart, Director of Finance. Sabrina Williams, valedictorian for the class of 2014. Curtis Johnson, salutatorian for the class of 2014. Dr. John Sturrock, Superintendent of the Allen Park Schools. The Honorable Mayor William Matekas. Mrs. Fran Babbage, President of the Board of Education. Mr. Gordon Miller, Board of Education, Vice President for Operations. Mr. Paul Klenzar, Board of Education, Secretary. Mrs. Kathleen Schwartz, Department Chair for Special Education. Mrs. Melanie Beeler, Department Chair for English Language Arts. Mr. Chad Kiesel, Co-Department Chair for Science, Physical Education, and Health. Mrs. Jeanette McDonald, Counselor, and Mrs. Karen Moran, Assistant Principal. Let's thank all of them for being here to celebrate. We have other faculty and staff to introduce and thank as well. I would like to express my deep appreciation to our teachers, counselors, and staff for their dedication to academic excellence, work ethic, their love of learning and imparting that love to youth, and to their role in shaping the lives of these young people. I ask them to stand, and audience, please hold your applause until the end. Mrs. Liz Anderson, co-sponsor for the class of 2014. Mr. Eunice Farrakhrani, retiring after 21 years of distinguished service in the Allen Park Schools. Mr. Tom Jenkins, Mrs. Christine McKenzie, Mrs. Kristen Pierfelice, Mr. Jimmy Victor, Mr. Casey King, Co-Department for Science, Mr. Richard Slate, Mr. Gary Waschelek, Mr. Robert Powell, Mrs. Patrice Mang, Mrs. Stephanie Woolard, Miss Christy Kruger, Mr. Dan Lloyd, Mr. Paul Vockler. In addition to the faculty and staff at Allen Park High School, we have members of the District Administrative Council present. Please stand as I call your name. Mr. Rick Morley, Director of Transportation and Maintenance. Mrs. Karen Gobus, Director of Food Services. Mr. Mike Dawson, Allen Park Middle School Principal. And joining in the celebration, helping with this grand event, are these district employees. Mrs. Lori LeBlanc, Secretary. Mrs. Laura Skaggs, Secretary. Mrs. Colleen Nightingale, Secretary. Mrs. Barb Zadrowski, Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent. Mrs. Jenny Stover, Transportation and Maintenance. Mr. Jerry Hetrick, Transportation and Maintenance, and to Secretary Michelle McGee, who has worked very hard to organize this huge event. Thank you in particular for making this a beautiful evening for our graduates. Please join me in thanking all of these distinguished guests. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the salutatorian for the class of 2014, a kind and generous young man of great talent, skill, and creativity with a bright future ahead of him. We thank him for the gifts he has given to Allenbark High School over his 4 years with us. Ladies and gentlemen, salutatorian for the class of 2014, Curtis Johnson.
Good evening, staff, faculty, family, friends, and of course, the class of 2014. First of all, I would like to thank all those who helped me